Greetings, sports fans. This is George of Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And we're going to do a little tutorial on a CT non-specific cripple. Excuse me. I will put the ingredients in the description. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is what it looks like when it's done. Like I said, it's a non-specific cripple, stuck in the shuck, emerger, whatever you want to call it. I'll walk you through each of the ingredients as I'm putting them in. This is a Daiichi 1130 hook, excuse me, in size 14. I'm using Semperfli Nanosilk in 50 denier black. I'm going to get tied in here. Okay, and we're just going to slice that off. And forgive me for this, but I got to put a little more light on this. There we go. So you're going to take your thread all the way to the back and down around the bend about halfway, and then just kind of tilt your vise over. I'm going to use this Kapok Semperfli dubbing in March Brown, but the cripple patterns are pretty generic. You can use about any color you want. This one's just non-specific. I'll tell you why I came up with this. I've been fishing these ponds back, here in my development, and in the spring, I get this little brown bug. I know it's not a mayfly, but excuse me. And it's not a caddis, and it's just some midge looking thing, but it's right around a size 14. I'm not exactly sure what species it is, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. Because, I'm not a taxologist or taxomologist or whatever the term is. Excuse me. So, next up, after you wrap that little piece of the abdomen on, you're going to take some blonde elk hair and you're going to snip off about 15 or so fibers. You want to pull those shorties out and I use a mustache comb and just comb that white fuzz out of there, that under fur. You want to try to match these tips up as best as you can before you put them in the stacker. And just stack, stack, stack. Now, excuse me. Part of the reason I'm showing you this is bass and brim in a pond, they eat little bugs. People have got it in their head that bass only eat big bugs. So, they're throwing, size 1 and 2 and 1 on and whatever. And that's just flat not the case. They eat little bugs too. So you're going to measure that up. You're going to trim off that extra hair. You're going to catch that down. And there you go. Get these little stick 'em ups here. Don't need those. And you just kind of smooth that out a little bit with some thread. Rotate your fly around a little bit. It kind of makes it easier to get your dubbing on. It gives you a little better idea where it's going to end up. So I like to give that a little turn. You don't want to get too much of this stuff on the thread all at once. Just kind of hold that back, and you're going to push that down a little bit. And then you're just going to wrap this forward. Up to about a hook eye or so back from the back of the eye. Then you're going to rotate the fly up. And this is where your emerging wing is going to come out. And you're going to need about, if you did 15 or so fibers for the tail, you're going to need about twice that for the front. And you're going to do the same thing. Pull the shorties out and comb that under fur out. Kind of match those up best you can. Get a long one here. You just kind of pull those out of the way. And back in the stacker. Where I got my blonde elk hair, you can get it from Nature Spirit, you can get it from Hairline. Just about everybody sells blonde elk hair. I got mine from a taxidermist buddy of mine. He gave me a whole cape. So I don't think I'm ever going to have to buy elk hair again. So you're going to take what you just pulled out of your stacker. Okay. You're going to measure that against the shank. And then you're going to flip it. Bring your thread up to right behind the eye. You just take a couple of pinch wraps, and then you just kind of check that. Nope, that's a little too long. Maybe you need to do a wrap like you would on a caddis. There we go. That got it. You want to be careful it doesn't spin on you, because that's what that's doing. Just kind of roll it back to you so that if it does spin, it spins into place. You can pull back on that, bring a wrap underneath, and then you can pull that back forward. Doesn't want to cooperate. Here we go. All right. And then you take your scissors and you pull this waist that's back here up. And you can just trim that off. Then I'm going to put some hackle on it. So I'm using Ewing featherbirds. This is a Grizzly dyed Coachman rooster neck. And I want to find a hackle. It's going to be about a 14-ish. So you just kind of fan these back to expose that. Stem, trim that off. And then you pull some off to expose the tip of the quill. There we go. And you get your hackle pliers on there, and you're gonna get, oh crap, you're gonna get 4 or 5 wraps on this. I'm gonna have to grab that a little closer because the camera's in the way. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I was having a hard time seeing. This lighting thing, trying to make these, can be a little harassing. All right, back to it here now I can see. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to give my thread a spin to the right, and that's going to tighten up my fibers because this is a flat thread. I'm going to take just 2 here to kind of lock that down, and I'm going to trim this with a slice and not a snip because I don't want to accidentally catch part of my wing. And I'm going to give that thread a twist again, and I'm going to inspect that, and I'm going to see that that hackle is, well, it's all right. No, I don't like it. And, you know, that's what you got to do sometimes when you're looking at these things. You got to look at it and say, yeah, that's okay, or nope, that's not going to get it. You even got to do that when you're, you know, just a regular schmo. They do make hackle gauges. I think I might have one in a drawer here that I could show you. Now, it's lost in the drawer. If you don't know what a hackle gauge is, you can Google the word hackle gauge, and it'll show you what a hackle gauge is. Okay, now this is going to be a little better. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's much better. All right, so again, a spin to the right. 2 to secure. 1, 2. And a slice snip so as not to cut my wing. Then a spin to the right. And I'm going to pull this back so I can get to the eye. And I might be a little close to the eye on that one, so I'm just going to push that back with my thumbnail. There we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn that again. And I got my 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like that's all I'm going to get on there without capturing too much stuff. There we go. Whip finish tool is the word I was going to say. Okay. And just kind of pull that back forward. And I'm going to turn this upside down, and I'm going to finish this off with some lacquer. You can use Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. You can use super glue. You can use, this is Rumpf head cement, and I'm applying it with a hat pin. Excuse me. And then to make sure that I didn't clog my eye up, I have a little hackle here that I'm just going to run down through the eye. Or run up through the eye, whatever the case may be. It's going to clean the eye out. So if I did have any head cement in there, it's not going to plug the eye. So there you have it. CT non-specific cripple. Again, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can find this and other cool bugs at my website, custom-tied.com. That's custom-tied.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. Happy tying.